Hey, good morning from beautiful downtown Sycamore Crossing in Blue Ridge, Georgia. Sorry we're a couple minutes late, so we're going to cut the front of the show. Had a little audio difficulty with Josh, our engineer over there. He fixed it, got it going, and so we're good to go. So we're going to jump right in. I'm your host, BKP, and we're going to jump right in with our segment, Ask the Doc. We always appreciate the Northside, affiliated with Northside Hospital, North Georgia Cancer Research, affiliated with Northside Hospital for this segment. Dr. Whaley, how are you?
I'm great, and let's get into it. The reason we're so slow this morning is it's cold in the mountains. It's 56 degrees up here, guys. It's 110 in Paris.
Yes.
110 in Paris, okay. And it's, what was it, 98 or 6 or something there in Atlanta yesterday, and it's 56 in Blue Ridge, and that's why we're here. And you missed the train whistle. It's already been.
I got to enjoy last week they call it climate change events now. The 102 out of Philadelphia, which was 117 heat index. And I couldn't get my air conditioner to come on in the car. It finally did.
That's what they said in Paris. They said that the 10 hottest days in history in Paris have all been in the last 15 years. And it's climate change.
Well, I will say this. That's why I love my North Georgia mountains. I love cool mountain mornings.
Right. We haven't got any climate change
cool mountain mornings is like in the top 5 reasons. No joke. People say, why are you in the North Georgia mountains? Cool mountain mornings is in my top 5 for why I'm here.
Yeah, and fresh tomatoes for the big old tomato sandwich.
Well, I had 5. I told you within the top 5.
But right now my patients are bringing me these big old. I had a big old tomato yesterday, that big around, that was purple with bottling in it. I don't know what brand that is. And you get one slice about that big, 2 pieces of white bread. It's like wonderful. All right, here. First question. What are clinical trials and why do you recommend them? This question, I'm absolutely positive, came from 2 weeks ago when we were talking about what you do after stage 1 and stage 2 in treating cancer. And I said, always, if there's the option to take a clinical trial, do it. You remember me talking about the quiver?
Yes.
And the bow and arrow guy in the first of the season? Well, all right, that keeps arrows in your quiver. Now, Josh, let's get that first picture up here. All right, what are clinical trials? People, this is probably the most important question that's been asked here in 2 or 3 years, because when people talk about Daddy has cancer and he's gone to the MD Anderson or he's gone to the Northside Cancer Center and they're talking about experimenting on him. That was the old word, experimenting on him, and that frightens people. The appropriate clinical trial is, if you look real carefully, clinical trials, and you're not going to read all this, but clinical trials aim to improve existing treatments or replace them with newer, better ones. You remember a few weeks ago I said, if you've got a clinical trial, it can't get through the institutional review board at Northside or MD Anderson or anywhere else, or through the FDA, unless your best information is that it is either more effective or less toxic than present therapy. You got that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's get off of that first one and let's go to the second one. So there's so much talk. You see all these ads on TV about the new fancy drug that for this cancer, and my dad's, they $10,000, $14,000 a month or something, and everybody criticizes it. But here's how you're going to love this. This is how you get from the thing we were talking about. It's been a year ago, where the guy was in the Amazon taking all that mud and getting all of these organisms in there and seeing which one, if you put it in a petri dish, would inhibit the growth of cancer cells, where you get from that to a drug that you can take like Jimmy Carter did that makes you well. You ready?
Right.
Okay, show that first picture with the number of people on it. You got that one, Josh? It's got a bunch of people with the little spots in the middle, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3.
Yeah.
All right, a phase 1 clinical trial is a patient who has exhausted all remedies, is given this compound that has been found to be effective in experimental first in petri dishes, second in mice, second in sheep, and so forth, and it's time to go into clinical trials, and it's somebody who has no other options. Literally, there are no other options. And that drug is then given to people with every kind of cancer that there is, and it's given in a low dose, several patients, then a little higher dose, then a little higher dose. And what you do is you then try to see, well, this particular drug was effective in this type of cancer, end stage, and the safe dose was this. And then you get some information on a small group of patients. That looks like probably 100 there in the world. They say, okay, this worked in breast cancer. So then you get into the phase 2 clinical trial. You see there's thousands of many patients there. This is where you hear randomized, and I'll show something about that in a minute, clinical trials that are blinded to the investigator. So you come in with a sore throat, make it easy, and you're going to get a pill, and that pill's either going to be the penicillin pill or it's going to be the new drug that we're testing against penicillin, and they make both of those pills look exactly the same. The doctor doesn't know which pill you got, the nurse doesn't know which pill you got, the patient doesn't know which pill you got. The only people who know what pill you got are way back here at the Research Institute and the National Institutes of Health, where they record your temperature every day and how quick did you get well. So if you get well 40% faster with the new pill than you did with the penicillin, with much less in the way of toxicity, that drug can then go into phase 3 clinical trials. See that phase 3?
Yeah, I mean,
okay, that's big numbers.
right.
That's where you've got all over the world. Now you're going to have Pima Indians here, and you're going to have Chinese over there, and you're going to have fat people over here, and you're going to have young ones over there, skinny ones over here, so that you then are getting huge data. All right, so we're going to pull that one off, and we're going to the next one. You got the next one there? All right, so after the phase 3 clinical trial, which this says here, tested on new and wider demographic. That was their way of saying short, fat Pima Indians and everything. That demography, that's what's the other word for that? Inclusive.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. So anyway, this test for long-term effects and comparison with other medications, and if that shows compelling, strong evidence, what's the next thing?
FDA approval.
All right, that's when that drug gets released into clinical medicine out there. Is the research over with?
No.
Absolutely not, because there's another block there in that phase 4. This phase 4 data is where once the drug's in clinical trial, then the manufacturer and the research group you get a lot more opportunity once you get it FDA approved to get it in use all over the world. Then they monitor the patients that get it for the first, let's say 500,000 or the first 2 or 3 years. Still monitor them just like they were under research to see if there's anything that sneaks in the back door that might be a side effect or might be added benefit, or that the amount of benefit you got, because statistics are so crazy, it diminishes. And one of the it just was announced a week or so ago, the FDA pulled approval for some drug for something I don't understand about it. It was some sort of pregnancy complication. About a year and a half after it went on the market, because over the long haul, the effectiveness wasn't the multiple they thought it was, and the expense was high, so they removed it, not because the drug didn't work, but because the cost was not worth it. Why spend $100 for a pill that's not any better than one that you're going to spend $1 for? So that's what phase 4 does. Okay, let's go to that last one here, because this is the part that people get confused about. when they say Dad's either going to get this treatment or that treatment, and we're not going to know which one he gets because some computer is going to decide, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's what randomization is. Now, I'm old. I hate to say how old I am, but you remember when I've been involved in clinical research since 1968, and there weren't any computers, were there?
No.
No. You remember when we were talking a few weeks ago? You remember what an index card is? You probably don't even know what a Rolodex is. All right. Well, you just imagine a box full of these little 4x7 cards, and the cards will be numbered 1 to 1,000, and you're going to go on this clinical trial, and you are number 276, and in essence, what you do is you just go run your finger down that thing, and you just pluck one out. And then that's going to say you're going to get this drug or another drug. So that was the way you did randomized clinical trials back in the days when I had, nice curly brown hair and no
All right. Let's move this along a little bit.
All right, now
You went to index cards. You got
yeah,
got me thinking all kinds of things
so
right now.
it is done by computer. I hate to tell you. So it's called a random number generator, and it decides whether your mother is going to get R-CHOP or get the new trial. But whatever, if there's a new trial against R-CHOP, it's supposed to be better. All right, so that's the end of the thing on clinical trials.
Let me ask you one thing. Now, explain the difference or how it helped Right to Try. Right to Try. Put that into there a little bit, because I think what a lot of people, I don't want to say don't know, but I really think it is an amazing thing that has been done here in the last couple of years is you as the patient now have a right to try that you didn't before. Am I correct?
Correct. Now, you remember that phase 1 clinical trial?
Exactly.
Okay. That's the clinical trial where you do not have any clinical information in human beings that this drug will be effective. It is all experimental evidence that is in the preclinical trial area, where I said you got all kinds of cancers.
Right.
You give this drug to a small number of people at this dose. If the dose doesn't hurt them and nobody responds, then you go to the next dose and you give it to a small number of people. And if the drug doesn't hurt them and nobody responds, you go to the third dose. Well, you reach a point where you're going to have responses without toxicity, and then you're going to raise the dose, and you may get more responses with toxicity. You drop back to the dose that was effective in some patients without toxicity, and now you got to get numbers. Well, that's where the insurance companies will not reimburse anything. They won't reimburse a blood count, an office visit, or anything else. And you can't get into the clinical trial because your insurance company won't allow you to, and that's the right to try. So that somebody can say, I'm going down to Emory, or I'm going down to Northside, or I'm going to MD Anderson, and they have a phase 1 clinical trial that I might be eligible for, and my insurance company won't let me go. The right to try lets them go down there and do it. And I think that's a very important. This is America, you know. I mean, you're free to drive one of those blinking Range Rover Discoveries if you want to, and Consumer Reports says it's got bad longevity, but it's a really good-looking car, and it's got great sound system, so you can make your own judgment.
You can go buy what you want,
or you can get the Jeep, which
absolutely
they say got good
research.
Right. All right. So that's the right to buy what kind of car you want. You got the right to pick. You need to choose your doctor and choose what you want to take.
Because there's a lot of great research going on right now. Especially with cancer, there's a lot of great research going on right now, and people are being healed or life prolonged or whatever.
They are, absolutely,
and it falls under it. So I didn't mean to sidetrack.
No, that is exactly why we had this today. Anyway, that's how that question got here from those things a few weeks ago, because there was questions about experimenting on Daddy, and Daddy has the right to go get in that trial if he wants.
Right.
And there shouldn't be a barrier that Medicare or some insurance company gives to him. And that's the right to try.
Well, I want to thank you for doing a really great job on breaking down, when you hear clinical studies, medical clinical studies, Dr. Whaley's done a great job of breaking down all the phases. We want to thank the North Georgia Cancer Research Center, affiliated with Northside Hospital, for this segment. And they bring us our second question. What do we have in our second one today, Dr.
Well,
Whaley?
I keep saying Dad, you know, when I was making that today. My dad recently began cancer treatment. And I wondered, how do steroids and chemotherapy work? Now, this is actually another pretty good question. There's so much talk about steroid abuse, and you see the picture of the guy that's pumped up like this on steroids. That's testosterone. That's got nothing to do with the steroids that we're using in cancer therapy. Put up that first slide about steroids for treating cancer, because most of the steroids, and just show steroids for treating cancer, that's the label. Pull that one down and put the next one up. All right. Steroids for treating cancer aren't the testosterone. They are the cortisone family of drugs. That's what, you know, the cortisone you rub on your poison ivy, and
Right.
and that they give you for the asthma and the cough and the wheezing. So if you just look at the basic uses, just show that one about uses, Josh. So corticosteroids are basically used for a bunch of things. Here, start off, reduce inflammation. That's the asthma and all the rest of that stuff. Suppress immune response, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, autoimmune diseases. Now, in cancer, most of the time when we use a steroid, it's either to prevent or to treat nausea, vomiting, and the old chemotherapeutic side effects, and get rid of them. So still has nothing so that's cancer treatment, but it's purely to make the cancer treatment easier on you. And actually, they're also given in the terminal phases of hospice to reduce pain and increase appetite. Now go to the next one, because I think what the real question is not what do you do with steroids to increase appetite or to diminish nausea. Now we're just going to show this briefly, because it starts talking about being an NK inhibitor, an aprepitant, and a serotonin antagonist, and you know, you can pull that one off. But technically, steroids, this next one I think is probably the most elusive one. Steroids affect virtually everything metabolically that happens within the body. And this, in terms of cancer treatment, if you just take a look at the left-hand side over here, where steroids are used, lymphoma and leukemia, and you have knowledge of people who are taking steroids, CHOP-R, the P is prednisone, which is a steroid.
Right.
All right. That's lymphoma. Breast cancer patients, prostate cancer patients, leukemia patients, ovarian cancer patients, all these different kinds of cancers, and multiple myeloma, all of these different kinds of cancers are giving big doses of steroids, short period of time, either 1 day, 3 days, or 5 days out of a month. And that's totally different than this low dose that they give, like for poison ivy or to reduce nausea. And in that situation, the cortisone, now go to that next picture. I'm not going to try and get you to figure out all this, the targeting, but this picture here it is a little bit about the chemistry of it. It will affect different parts of the cell cycle in different cancers. So you can't just say cortisone blocks mitosis or cortisone increases tumor killer cell recognition of it does all sorts of stuff. So you can pull that off and we get those things off the screen. But basically, steroids, not the weightlifter steroids, cortisone-like drugs, and the common one in cancer called prednisone, does so many things that I would say just about every patient that is treated for cancer, whether it's radiation therapy for a skin cancer all the way through to a bone marrow transplant, will receive a corticosteroid, prednisone-like drug during their treatment. So it was a real good question. It's just that its spectrum is so far from low doses just to prevent nausea or to increase appetite here to the huge doses up here that actually kill leukemia cells and lymphoma cells.
I think what happens is, through just, let's say, athletics, we hear steroids and it has such a sweeping brush.
Yeah, right.
Right. It's such a wide paintbrush
right,
when you just hear steroids. Well, they're giving dad steroids, they're giving mom steroids. Well, okay, will they, be able to hit a home run here soon? I mean, I know it's, but you understand.
Or Lyle Alzado died of cancer caused by taking too many steroids.
Right. Exactly. So I think that wide brush that when you hear steroids, some of us miss out that there is really good medical benefits to treatments that steroids are used for.
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Absolutely, yeah. And actually, I hate to say it, but the testosterone-like drug, which is the one that gets the bad paintbrush, we also use in relatively low dose to stimulate appetite in people who have had big surgery or big chemo. And many of our treatments place women into menopause and put men into testicular failure. So we frequently are using a lower dose of testosterone. So actually, even though that's the one that's painted badly in the public eye, it has a place in cancer treatment.
Well, now before we go on here, our audience will not understand this, so don't take this. I'm sorry, but I've been wondering how you got that parking space. But we'll talk about that later. I've been wondering, how'd you get that parking space? I don't, I thought that parking space had somebody's name on it, but we'll just go there.
That parking space comes from the 4th of July
I know it
parade,
does.
and it's bait for these stores.
I got it.
People come here and they get their picture taken, and it gets men here, and then the women can go in the stores and spend money.
Listen, let me just say, seriously, all jokes aside, we are at Sycamore Crossing at downtown Blue Ridge, Georgia. Beautiful morning, absolutely beautiful. But there is a beautiful Chevy truck. What year is it?
65.
There's a beautiful 1965 red, oh my God, truck sitting out in front of Sycamore Crossing. That if you visit Blue Ridge, you come down Sycamore Crossing, check out the truck. Like Doctor,
get your picture
because it is one you want to do. Okay, I've been wanting to wonder how you got that parking space. Okay, Dr. Whaley, at this time, you always share with us something that is new and going on in the medical field out there.
All right, I got one quick admonition that's going to be on the radio or on the TV today. And in this community here, there are a number of well-known people who have gone to Mexico for the purposes of having an obesity surgical procedure that's called the gastric sleeve or the gastric band or gastrointestinal bypass. And they have had fine results from it. Once before, we have talked about what we call medical tourism. There's an epidemic of fatal post-operative infections in the gastric band and gastric sleeve surgery from that institution in Mexico right now that have killed about a dozen people. And it's a caution that medical tourism, you really need to be very, very stringent in investigating the place that you go. There's great dental clinics in South America where the people were trained here, and they're a lot cheaper than the $2,000 crown I got here, facelifts in Brazil and other cosmetic surgeries. But the gastric surgery is not a tummy tuck. And right this minute, there's a significant post-operative problem going on down there. So we'll get from that to regular news. You ready?
Yes.
All right. I really love this one because you probably saw something about it that a couple of days ago, 3 bedroom communities of Atlanta, Smyrna and Covington, were found to have a chemical in the air called ethylene oxide. Did you see that?
Yeah, okay.
It's a cancer-causing chemical that is coming from a medical sterilization company called Sterigenics which you've never heard of, which was Bard and Bard Parker, huge company. Sterigenics has 3 plants, 2 in Smyrna and 1 in Covington. They got 1 in Illinois somewhere where the concentration of this stuff is fairly high. And the article was written that their cancer chemical is in the air in Smyrna and in the air in Covington, and this company is guilty of it. Well, it's true. The chemical's in the air. The company is guilty of it. But as the EPD person from the state of Georgia and the EPD person from the federal government said, this article is written as an inflammatory attempt to make people mad and to make people angry. And it was written in such a fashion as to just shock. This concentration of this stuff is minimally higher than permissible, which it shouldn't be, and the companies are mitigating that with new technology. But they made it like if you go outside, you're going to be mustard gassed like in World War I. Now, it put me back in, because I am so old, back into the big scare on radon. You're probably too young to remember radon.
Radon detectors.
Our other expert panels over here, everybody was worried about radon. And they were suing builders for building a house that had high radon in the basement. Well, if you
when I built houses, this is years ago. When I built houses, we had to do radon testing. The homeowners that had to be a part of the report when we for the basements, radon testing.
All
Absolutely.
right, now
got it.
I was born and raised in Buckhead. There is a bump of land not too far from Atlanta that's famous around the world called Stone Mountain.
Yes.
It's granite. And therefore, the underpinnings of the city of Atlanta are granite. And when they built MARTA, they had to go through granite. Well, what's the highest radon producing natural substance other than the coal mines out in Montana is granite. So every big home in Buckhead has got real high radon in the basement because they're all built close to that granite.
Right.
Okay, they were all built back by famous architects before you could sue or you had to have a radon thing, but it just scared people to death. How many people do you know got radon-related cancer in Buckhead or anywhere else from the radon? So this is exactly, in my opinion, I hate to say fake news, but it's the news media's way. Who's going to read an article that says there's a chemical in the atmosphere that's 1.6 times the naturally occurring permissible, and it ain't going to do anything to you, and somebody's going to have to fix it? Well, nobody's going to read it.
You got to energize that article. You got
to jazz up
the
article.
Yes, sir.
Jazz up the article. Okay, so that's what they did. All right, now the second jazz up that has occurred this week is the textured silicone breast implant. Remember that one? I know you've been traveling. Okay.
No, let me hear this.
All right. Well,
try to stay clear away from breast implants.
Allergan.
Sorry, I don't know where that was.
Allergan is this huge company. I think they started out making eye drops and something else.
Okay.
Well, Allergan owns the silicone breast implant that about 20% of the breast implants in the United States, and more than that in Europe, are Allergan silicone breast implants. Now, if you've ever seen one in a photograph or something, they're slick and they look like a bubble or a bubble of water, or a bubble of plastic or something, or even like a jellyfish. Well, and then they tended to have a capsule that was kind of hard, so Allergan began to make them with a textured surface, so the surface was ribbed a little bit, and there were all of these surgical reasons why the ribbed breast implants were better. Now, but they would stay more mobile, more uniform in shape and everything. Well, we know that when you put a foreign body in somebody, it's going to stimulate immunity in some fashion, and that's why it gets capsule formation. Well, there have been about 481 about, how's that? That's pretty much about, cases of lymphoma occurring in recipients of the Allergan breast implant worldwide in the last 4 years. Now that sounds like a huge number, except that there are a couple million people out there with that implant. And now the headline was, Allergan recalls this textured breast implant. Well, that sounds like you got to go to the doctor and get your implants taken out and get new ones put in. How do you recall a breast implant? What that meant was they got to take it off the shelves and not sell any more of them. The bottom line recommendation is not to go take the darn thing out, but do what you're supposed to be doing anyway, which is an annual mammography, getting your breast checked. And every woman that I've ever seen that's had a breast implant from the age of 14 to the age of 90-something, I've explained to them, you will never be able to check your breast. The doctor will never be able to check your breast with the degree of accuracy after that implant that he could without an implant, and therefore you must get a diagnostic mammogram at a place that knows what they're doing. And that is what the bottom line of this recall of the breast implant was. But it was on the news and in the daggone high up in the front page of the newspaper here in the last week. And again, I think that's the press making this huge flap up here about something that's real, but it's real at that level. There you go. So ethylene in the air, breast implants, and that's fake news. And that's my way of getting to the fake news and my criticism of the regular press. How's that?
Well, I want to tell you personally how much I appreciate you. One of my concerns in life, here's one of my concerns in life now, that I'm in a room somewhere and somebody has something happen medically, and somebody yells, is there a doctor in the room? And there's no doctor in the room, and I have to say, hey, I know a doctor and I've took his class for 3 years, but that's my concern.
I played one on TV.
Yeah, I've taken Dr. Whaley's class for 3 years, so that's a concern. So anyhow, folks, listen, this is great information every week with Ask the Doc. Go to our YouTube channel, FYN Train Whistle, FYN TV Fetch Your News. Go to our YouTube channel, subscribe. Also, look at the playlist, Ask the Doc playlist. Share these with your friends. If you've heard some information today, you say, wow, I'd really like family members or friends to hear that. You can go share that today. We put it on our YouTube channel. Also, if you have a question for Ask the Doc, just send us an email at info@fetchyournews.com and say in the subject line, Ask the Doc, send us a question for Dr. Whaley. Again, we want to thank North Georgia Cancer Research Center, affiliated with Northside Hospital. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I like that tie. I like it. Goes real well. I tell you what,
Century 21, the discount place in Manhattan.
There you go. There you go. Going to work looking sharp. Thank you very much, Dr. Whaley. We'll be right back with the All-Star panel, and I'm always concerned if we have anything to talk about. But I know Jane, Rick, and Bruce are ready to go after these messages.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Do you feel like healthcare has become too impersonal?
3 times an hour, I'll get you in, I'll get you out.
At Lifetime Medical Center, you're more than a number. We get to know you, not just your medical issues. Dr. Alana Kent is board certified in family practice and offers same-day appointments. She and her staff treat conditions from minor to chronic issues. Lifetime Medical Center, convenient to Jasper and Blue Ridge.
This may sting a little.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Hey folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. We're at Sycamore Crossing in downtown Blue Ridge, and it's time for the All-Star Political Panel. You know Jane, you know Rick, you know Bruce. Where's our All-Star Political Panel music where we do that?
We need some.
Right?
Do we have some?
We should get some.
We'll work on it.
Now,
we
I was
will.
we were at
Inagata
Sycamore
DeVito.
Crossing. Sycamore Crossing. And,
That works.
I told our audience earlier, Jane, they may not understand this, and sorry to bring up something they don't understand. Didn't that used to be your parking space? I'm trying to start a problem today. I'm trying to.
Yeah. I meant to mention to Bill, move that
Move the truck.
I'm parked illegally out here.
Did I get something started? I asked him, hey, how did you get that parking space?
Yeah.
Wondering if we have anything to talk about. So
No, I think pretty much it's a dead day today.
Boring.
Quiet week.
you want to talk fishing?
Boring.
All right, so now there's been a lot of discussion that Republicans and some of the talking heads and the conservative talkers out there are really being disrespectful to Robert Mueller, this war hero, Vietnam veteran hero, decorated hero, one of the greatest FBI directors. I mean, they're going on, and that a lot of fun has been made because he struggled a little, but it's his age and some
A little.
I have to say, if he felt, now he's a professional for years, if he felt he could not sit, he has testified before when you're the FBI director, so he knew what he was walking into. Knew exactly.
You think?
Right.
Yeah.
I
I
cannot
don't know
give
what he
him.
knows
Did he?
now.
Did he read his own report?
No.
I think
Not
that-
only did he not read it, he didn't write it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think the guy who learned the most about the Mueller report was Robert Mueller.
Mueller. You know,
I mean, he acted like a dunce.
he's mentally, he's sliding. But
I think he had a
about
stroke.
30 minutes in, I texted Rick and I said, "Are you watching?" He said, "Yes." I said,
Boom, boom,
"This
boom.
guy, first of all, this guy is worse off than Biden. I mean, he is worse off mentally than Biden." And then I said, he doesn't look like he knows what's happening. And then when Jim Jordan got on there, then I sent him a thing that said,
Well, what Jim Jordan did,
Gosh,
Jim
that
Jordan
man
went
is
exactly
so great.
what I asked earlier in the week on my show. Earlier in the week, I said, I want one Republican to ask him, hey, while you were on this side indicting everybody you can find, Russians will never meet and everything like that, did you not bump into anybody, just one person on the other side? And Jordan did that.
Oh.
And, you know, I refer back to the report. You know.
It's out of my purview.
Out of
Oh,
my
yeah.
purview.
Yes,
Can't
exactly.
discuss that.
Yeah.
Can't discuss that.
There's things
And it was interesting. I mean, he typically did more of no answer or whatever outside my purview, more with the Republicans than the Democrats.
Yeah, he did. That was obvious.
So, something's going on up there. But yeah, he seemed woefully unprepared or totally out of it or all the above.
Feeble is the word.
Well,
Didn't
that's
he seem
what
a little
I'm saying. There's
feeble?
been and there's been a lot of discussion that people that are Republicans, that conservative talk show host from Rush to TV, the Sean Hannity's on TV of Fox, Tucker Carlson, all the above. There's been a lot of attack on them that he has feeble's a good word, and we're going after him. But I think he should have just said, I'm physically not able to do it if he couldn't, and just, you'll have to subpoena me, but I can't physically do
He
it.
didn't have a choice.
I understand. I get it, but,
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Physically unable to do it? He's been physically unable to do it for 2.5 years. Okay?
But no one cared.
Let me
no
tell
one
you.
thought it was going to
Let me tell you who the coward is. Let me tell you who the coward is.
I love when I know
The coward, the coward is Rod Rosenstein. Rod Rosenstein didn't have the guts to do that within a 6-month investigation, the DOJ. So what does he do? He puts this holier-than-thou Republican, kind of like, in that place, who's nothing but a figurehead, who did nothing for 2.5 years.
Got his paycheck for nothing. Did
Exactly.
nothing. He did not.
And then, the guy in charge was that schmuck.
So what you're saying, I give it to you back to you. I'll defer back. But what you're saying is, if he looked unable to handle that,
Yeah.
the takeaway, he was been unable to do it from the
For
beginning.
the last 2.5 years.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
put him in there and he just stood around posing for holy pictures and taking a big paycheck. Rod Rosenstein is the coward of the year.
And
He
it's
is.
interesting, the media always talks about him in the words you said before. Oh, decorated war hero, Marine, nominal Republican, unbiased, all these sort of things. When they know they have something to lose because they didn't get anything they could gain out of this. So then they're going back to we got to protect this guy no matter what. Because, Rick's point is probably very valid that, he wasn't capable of doing it when they appointed him.
No.
So
Not at all.
Instead
So
of
Weissman is the
figurehead,
guy.
Yeah,
Really?
Weissman.
yeah, Weissman. Figurehead isn't the word. Patsy is the word. I mean,
Boob.
they used him.
Fall guy.
Dumbass
He was the
boob.
fall guy, and
Well, it's
then-
very. I think the American people. Sorry, I think the American people, Jane. I'll give it back to you. If they seen anything the other day, they watched someone that really did not know what they were doing, what the report said, what was in the report, just at a total loss. Go ahead. Go
Well,
ahead, Jane.
my source, the one that starts with Q, they said.
Excuse me?
No,
one that starts with-
No,
now
let's
you've
say
got
so,
me.
Jane.
You've got me. You've got. What'd you just say? I'm not kidding. I'm not
You
kidding.
said, play back the tape. You said my
You can repeat the
stores,
question.
starting with a Q.
No, what'd you say before that? I forgot what I was gonna say. Said.
What did I say, Rick? It's your. You're
Said-
supposed to be recording. this.
Said. I'll think of it in a second.
No, I talked about, you know,
Sure, takeaway.
it was obvious that he had no idea what the report said. He did not write the report. He did not read the report. The American people watched this man. They've heard the word Mueller. They watched this man the other day. Zero, nothing, provided nothing for the American people in this multi-million-dollar report, basically what I said.
Yeah, well, that didn't bring it back. But I will say that, I mean, I'm getting really bad about this. The thing is that I never thought I would say this. I was thinking this morning. I almost felt sorry for that guy because he was a Marine. He did serve our country.
I got it.
And I'll tell you, they put him under the bus so far. And I know that Barr is sad too because they're great friends, and I know Barr's so disappointed in what it's turned into. And I really did feel for him that he, once being an FBI director and all this, that I know he sat there and thought, what am I doing? I'm out of my league. What have I done? What have they done to me?
And I said to Rick afterwards, I said, I just wonder if they're setting him up to make a statement later, maybe this weekend or next week, saying, I was dealing with some medical issue or something like that, and I really wasn't on top of my game. So, if you want to have a redo, I can come back.
No, I don't
Boy,
know
would
if
that
there's
be
a
horrible.
comeback.
No, I think
but let
they
me
wanna
say-
redo the report,
Let me say this. They kept saying they wanted to bring Mueller's words to life. What they did do. What do you think? I'm not going to get into what I think. What do you think was the takeaway for the Democrats? They don't say. Yeah, I mean, think about it from their side of the aisle and their followers and the people there, Nadler and Shifless and all them. What do you think their takeaway was? Do you think they feel they got something out of this to work with?
Well, if you listen to talk about it, yeah, they all said that. They all put on a positive spin.
If they had something positive to come out of it, I don't think they would have come out with that impromptu press conference at the end. I think the press conference after the fact was a shill, was a front to say we really did get something out of this, knowing that they didn't.
When I knew they were dead in the water is this morning. I happened to see a CNN thing, two of them, where one guy was saying, look, there's a possibility he was just a figurehead, he did nothing, and then even the bad guys, I don't know their names unless you tell me, they're saying he just didn't have it, he just wasn't all there. It's going to turn on the Democrats because this was such a failure. It was embarrassing, really.
Well, if you watch both sides, a large part of Democrat focus was the president requested Don McGahn to fire him, and if you go for the sound bites, because I will say this, we feel as watching it, and I tell you what, most Democrats feel this thing bombed, they're in big trouble. But really, what Democrats wanted were sound bites. So if you was to go and play a little montage and you just cut it up the way you want, did the president ask you to fire Don McGahn? Yes, he did. It's in the file. I mean, Don McGahn to fire you. So they went after, I think they laid the groundwork of why they have to bring Don McGahn in. Is their what they're saying. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
Do you agree that although they wanted some sound bites from Mueller, just sound bites, they knew they weren't going to get a smoking gun. They have sound bites.
We got more sound bites than them. What happened to Medford? Medford or whatever, you know.
But did you notice the layout methodically of?
Sure.
Read from page so and now right there is where the president said to Don McGahn, White House counsel, fire Robert Mueller. How many times did they discuss Don McGahn? Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Right? Overwhelming.
That was about all they had.
Exactly. So they got the sound bites of him saying, yes, the president wanted me to fire the special counsel.
So the follow-on is obstruction.
Right. The follow-on is obstruction. And now they're preparing, I heard they're preparing the lawsuit to sue to get McGahn to come in. Right? That's what they want. They want McGahn to come in. But it's not going to be over, but do you think it's dead with the American people? I guess that's what I want to know. Do you think this issue is over with the American people?
I think for all the people in the middle and the people like who have better things to do with their lives, yeah. I think that the lefties on the coast and like the major cities who are just anything to get the orange blob man out, yeah.
They're gonna our favorite guy that's from some teaches in some university that's on Tucker all the time. The older guy that I love so much. You remember his name? He said it. I think he said it perfectly. He said, what they're saying is that Trump, yes, he got angry. He said this, he thought this, but he didn't do this. He said, that is the thought police. They are wanting to make him guilty over his thoughts, and he didn't do it. I mean, I can think I want to go to rob a bank, but I don't.
We should fire this guy. Why do we keep it, Mr. President?
That's why Representative Lesko out of Arizona, the woman, was brilliant in her questioning, and they set it up perfectly. Did you get to finish your term? Yes.
Yeah.
Were you fired?
Were you ever?
No.
Doug Collins did that. Remember what Collins did?
He did it as well.
Yeah.
Doug Collins said, hey, did you ever get hindered at any time? Were you ever told not to? I mean, he gave the whole list of what the media kept saying, that Trump was trying to obstruct the investigation.
And that's on the record.
Right?
Yeah.
And Collins nailed him down. And at the end, it doesn't matter what Trump was thinking, what he said.
That's what he did.
Our congressman, actually, he's our congressman here in the district. He laid that out to where there's no way. Mueller's own words are, no, I never was told stop. I was never told I couldn't subpoena anybody. Right? Never hindered, never slowed down, never stopped, never interfered with. Right? Boom.
Rush makes a good point. He said, why didn't they pull that second hearing when they knew that they had just an absolute boob sitting there?
Right.
Because Adam Schiff, Pencil Neck Geek, Standard Hotel, look it up.
Right. I know about the Standard Hotel. Look it up.
Wanted his day in the sun. He wanted to be able to sit in front of those cameras and hammer Trump.
That's what he wanted.
And hammer Trump until the cows came home.
Well, they are still going out before the cameras and saying these are the reasons. He even said it. Schiffless said it in the hearing. This report is definitely, to them, give them the reasons why they have to look closer.
Yeah.
All this stuff.
Yeah, keep it going.
All right, so let's say this, though. Let's go back to the narrative this is supposed to be about. Russian collusion to obstruct or to interfere with our elections, right? Why do you think that is a war drum just over and over? Russian, we find out this morning, or I'm going to say this morning, they're running on the news, and now our intelligence community says that Russia tried to hack and interfere in all 50 states, right?
I read that.
Well, yeah,
Right.
Mueller said they're doing it now.
They're doing it now.
Yeah.
Why? Why it's not impeachment, my friend.
I think it's maybe an easy guilty, not guilty plea.
I think there's two reasons. I think the long game is that the Dems want to take over the election process, and they don't want to have it localized. They want to standardize it and make it national. We have 50 actual presidential elections going on right now, plus the territories. Not one. We have 50 plus the territories.
Now, if you're going to run with that.
The long game, that's the long game. The short game is, if Trump wins again, we get to redo this whole damn thing over again and figure out how this happened again.
But I
All right,
think
the long game. Wait, I got to say.
ahead.
On the long game,
Yeah.
now I've been putting that out for a long time, haven't I? Just don't throw it out there. Just, come on. Come on.
Has he been putting it up?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jay.
Call in.
Rick's right on the long game.
Well, I saw that. I saw that as a backfire when they said the Russians are in every state meddling, because then it seems like that would be an impetus for us to go to paper ballots. I mean, to kind of get them out of the deep state, out of our election.
It is. I love this panel. It is 100% from start to finish to take over and nationalize elections.
Yeah.
And take it away.
The end game.
100% to set up.
100%.
Okay. What we do know is all of this supposedly Russian hacking and interference and into our elections, that we need to save our democracy, not a vote. They leave that out. The proof has been not a vote was changed, right? We can't find anywhere where votes were changed.
Nothing
okay?
is provable.
Right. Nothing. There were no votes changed. So I will tell you. I will tell you two things. One, they want to the long game. If you look at the left very close and dig into it, they have some. I'm going to say great organizations. Not that I agree with them, that they've put together to end the Electoral College. Okay, turn it into popular vote. All right. Take away your local elections, folks. They want to take away and oversee, and it's for your best, okay? They want to stop your Fannin County election office from overseeing your state elections. That's what Stacey Abrams all about, yelling voter suppression in the states. They want to take over your state elections, your national elections, and local elections, and that's what every bit is. I'm sorry I went on and on.
Chuck and Marianne are going to be without a job.
But I'm sorry, but right?
Beautiful.
Okay, now we're going to take a brief break.
Right
I want to take a brief break, and I want to talk about, let's just say, my white privilege when we get back. Let's take a break.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ellijay, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Hey folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from Sycamore Crossing. What a beautiful morning, right?
Perfect.
Gorgeous.
Blue Ridge,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay.
Doc said it was 56 degrees this morning when he woke up to ride the bike.
Doc says it, it's done.
It's done.
Finished. Doc said
You know, he called me and said, Jane, it's 56. Maybe you need to take a sweater. I said, honey, you know I haven't been cold since 1982. I don't need a sweater. I'm sorry, but it's...
Honey, I haven't been cold since 1982.
I've just had this,
You keep my motor wound up.
stuff going on. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I think, moving right along.
Moving right along, Jane is our hottie of the week.
And don't you forget it.
That's right.
Okay.
All right, where are we going, boy privilege?
I'm going to say this. I'm going to get it out of the way. Yes, I am very upset with the budget deal that was cut. I'm very upset. Yes, I'm very upset with the debt. Yes, I'm very upset with some of these things that are going on in our country that we need to correct. But I think we can recover from them. What I really fear is this whole racism thing, and I hate to say just racism. That is my fear. All right, the budget. I'm not happy with the budget deal. I'm not happy with the debt, the way it's going. But I have to tell you this: if the country collapses, we're going to figure out how to come back and make. These are things we can fix.
Yeah.
The racism I said the other day of what they're attempting to do could take another 200 years to correct, and I know that's a long time. But I that is my fear of what they are doing, because Donald Trump's tweet never said a name, color, anything, and the media is dangerous.
Yeah.
They are dangerous, okay? And the media took that tweet and said, okay, let's stamp it racist, let's stamp it women of color, let's stamp all these things on it that are not really true. You know, when Donald Trump said that, the four women jumped up like playing whack-a-mole. They were all up,
Yep.
Boom. They popped up. Then we have the chant in South Carolina that says send her back. Okay, for 13 seconds, the media's gone nuts. And Trump didn't interrupt it. And that was Ilhan Omar, right? They were talking about her.
Ilhan.
Ilhan Omar. Now, where I'm going with this, the media will not run the stories on research. I think she may be here illegally. I think she may have received asylum.
There is no question.
Citizenship.
In my mind.
Illegally in this country. She may be here illegally.
Glenn Beck went through all that.
Right.
It is documented.
Right.
But no one will
Documented.
touch it.
No one
Not
will touch
even
it.
Fox, not even the good guys.
So personally, I'm going to say in public.
What does that mean?
I'll say I think we should research that and send her back.
Look, when
I
the
mean,
president
they get mad at me if they
when the
want.
president is standing in front of the helicopter and he said, I don't know, maybe we ought to look into it. I think someone said she was here
Right.
illegally.
Someone said she married her brother.
When he does that,
Hello.
yeah, they're looking at it. That's the trigger, I guarantee him.
Rashid Tlaib, is that how you say
She
it?
married
Tlaib.
All right.
her brother.
She's an angry person.
Oh.
She's had hate in her heart and anger way before he became
Very
president.
She needs to strap some underwear on too. My goodness.
But they're infiltrating our government. I mean, is that
But
terrifying?
those four, women of color, and then he said send her back. And I've said for a long time, they have tried to do everything to label me, the racist here, as I'm white, I'm in my 50s, I'm Republican, I support the president. So right after that, a local person here, I'll just say it because it's on it, a local person here went berserk on I've said berserk, yeah, if you're watching, I say you went berserk. You went berserk on social media and said, okay, anybody out there that you now, after this chant, I forget how he wrote it, support the President of the United States, you are a racist, you are an American, and you are a terrible human being, right, Rick? That's what was said, okay?
Golly.
So I never respond to this individual. And I thought to myself, okay, I never respond because they always put stuff up. But this time I thought, you know what? That basically, he just said to me, if I support the President of the United States, so I just wrote back a little quote and said, I didn't use any foul language, Rick read it, I don't know if anybody else, but I said, are you saying I'm a racist? Are you calling me a terrible human being and un-American? because I do support the President of the United States. I'd like to know. That's all I wrote. Is that what you called me this morning? Man, you should have seen it light up. This one person jumped in and said, "I'll bite. You're an effing no good." Rick wasn't. It got it got ugly.
God.
They called me every name in the book. I mean,
In
people.
this town.
I think you're giving him too much credit and too much time.
No,
That's just
no,
me.
I agree with you, but I agree with you. I think it exposed the anger, and I will tell you what he is saying is duplicated all across this country right now.
I'll agree with that
And that's
wholeheartedly.
that's what my concern is.
I got you. Yeah.
I mean, people have no respect for law enforcement. No, wait a minute. Now, here's where we'll go. Forget him, and then I'll get out of the way.
Look at the incident. Look at the recent incident.
Erica Thomas in the state of Georgia is the minority leader in the House of Representatives in this state. Total lie. Did you follow that story? Did you see that story? Total lie. But if my little Cuban friend Eric wouldn't have showed back up, it would have got blowed up nationwide. Send her back.
It did get blowed up nationwide.
But I mean, it would have took off. What say you? Do you not have a fear of the media? My fear is
totally.
I think that I call them the deep state, corrupt corporate media.
Forgot the socialist, communistic one.
And Trump's getting all the blame for this,
right?
For like sowing the seeds of hatred and division.
Yeah, that's what
that's exactly where this is going.
That's what you call referral, and then what they're what is it when you say people do what you're doing?
Well, yeah, you're putting the blame over on them. For,
exactly what you're doing, then you say the other people are doing.
Displace something or other.
What do you think about them running that narrative, that race for almost a week of racism, and it's not done? What do you think?
Well, let me ask y'all what you think. There was a caller into Rush the other day, and he said, "Let me just tell you what racism is and isn't." He said, "Racism is not saying you're black and I don't like you."
It was a black guy too, by the way.
Was it? I couldn't tell.
No,
really?
he said that.
He said so. I was driving, so I had to look at the road.
No, he said I'm a black 50-year-old man, and let me tell you, I've been subject to racism. But
I missed
go
that
ahead.
part.
Yeah.
So he said racism is not saying you're trash, you're ignorant, any of that. He said racism is denying a person something that other people have. It's denying them the right to eat. It's denying them taxes. It's denying them anything, access to a movie theater, denying them a right. That is racism. Calling them names is rude, ignorant, but it's not racism. And so you think about it, no one would agree much unless they're an intelligent-minded person. But think about that. They're taking the laws and they're doing like this to thin them out. And one more thing, when someone said, I don't know if it was Adam Schiff or who said, we are a nation of laws. We are a law-abiding nation.
They say that all the time.
And so you like sanctuary cities, you like Antifa running around, you like people throwing water over policemen.
Open immigration, open borders.
What? And they get away with it.
Yep.
It's just unbelievable. It's 1984. I know I keep saying that, but it is, and we gotta do something. And now this is disturbing. I don't do social media, but Rick and I were talking the time we did the show about what happens if 10 people in Blue Ridge decide to start something, and then we're in trouble. And it looks like I'm really totally terrified, to be honest.
So the thing happened to you was Facebook or just an email?
Yeah, Facebook.
Okay.
That's why I don't.
It took off. I'm concerned about
farce book.
I will tell you what I'm concerned about and why they went with the racism narrative. I noticed last week they weren't as concerned as the kids at the border having a toothbrush. That kind of settled down a day or two. They kind of went to the next thing they could try to divide America. But my thing is what I'm concerned about is I think they're trying everything. And what I think they're trying everything because I think they know Donald Trump gets reelected. And here's what I'm going to tell all Republicans, see if you agree with me. Donald Trump is going to do some things in the next year and a half up to Election Day that you're going to cringe. You're cringing over this debt deal. You have to understand every single thing he does and tell me if you agree or not, everything he does between now and Election Day has to stay calm and get elected. That has to be first. If he doesn't get elected, we can't get things done. So do you agree we're going to see some things that we might cringe a little bit over?
There were two takeaways from the debt deal, and I agree with you. In total, yeah, I mean, it's terrible. The two good things are we have funded the military. Right. The second thing is it will not be a factor during the election.
Yeah, it's a 2-year deal.
It's a 2-year deal. We won't have to put up with that crap in 2020 election, right?
Sideshow.
No more sideshows. It's done. It's over. And I think that's the real underlying reason why, some say that the bullet was bitten. Bited?
Was bitten.
Was bitten.
Resident English teacher.
That's right.
Was bitten.
Checks our work.
The bullet was bitten to get it out of the way, get it off the front page.
Well, my concern is, well, when we talk about the race, first of all, if you notice, Donald Trump puts tweets out, and he doesn't identify groups or anything, and the media runs with it and names it. And what I like to look at, because I study in the mornings the narrative that CNN and NBC and they're all trying to run with, and they'll put on the bylines in the morning, Trump with his comments directly nationalist, white nationalist,
white supremacist,
right? All that the bylines they write, okay.
The same message points.
The bylines they use them with nationalists, white nationalists, racism, hate groups. But here's what's happening when they do that byline. They're putting my name on the byline. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't know nothing about white nationalists. I mean, I was only at one communist parade, and I didn't know it. And that's a long story. It's a May Day parade.
That's a great story.
Right? That. And actually, I got caught on TV
skipping.
Ryan, where were you today? Well, Dad, I was at school. Why?
No, the news ran that parade.
The parade, and you were out there.
You and your friend.
You were out there with the Mayday.
We just saw something assembling on a sidewalk, and we happened to not be in school because we wanted to go look. We wanted to go look at the New Balance that just came out. So at the shoe store, we had reasons we didn't. Point being is, I know nothing about white nationalists. I do not go to their websites. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about these groups, but. Why did they say white America voted for Barack Obama?
Wedge issue. They're pounding the wedge.
They are.
No, our white guilt. Obama, the white, when Obama was first elected, white guilt, we went and voted right. I think they're going to work so hard to try to say anybody that votes for Trump is racist and try to kill that 5-6, because right now, because they're coming out and saying, if you support him, period, it's all over the country. You are this. They're identifying you, right? What say you?
Well, they're blitzing.
What time
now
is it,
they're
Josh?
blitzing.
9:24. All right, 9:24. Go ahead.
They're blitzing with everything they've got. Every divisional tactic they got, they're doing it all at once because they are in trouble. They really are. And then, did you hear Omar say, it's not Antifa or Al-Qaeda that's the problem in this country. It's white, rich white men who are the danger to this country. I talk about stomping. I went into the living room. I went out on the porch. I mean, I just want to strangle that woman.
The other thing they often say with that is, like, the husbands force their wives how to vote.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
the other thing. They always link those two.
Yeah. All right, we got a debate coming this week. Got Biden is leading in all the polls, leading with black voters, leading with everything. Got a debate. CNN.
Was he the same guy that was in the administration when all of this Russian stuff happened? Was he the same guy? I don't understand how the media lets that go when they say Trump is the reason for the collusion and the Russian hacking. That happened during their administration.
In any poll based on Cracker Jack, I don't believe so.
CNN is hurting so bad. No, they are. They are hurting so bad. CNN is. They will turn this debate into like America's Got Talent. They'll do it like they will do. It'll
be interesting.
This thing, they're going to make it an event. Like I tell you, because they got to have winners and losers.
Stupid pet tricks.
Air balls and miss the train.
Double
whatever you
dribble.
Call it.
How about
air
double
balls
dribble?
and home runs.
Whatever you call it.
My home run is Confederate Railroad, a southern country rock group that
Great home run, Bruce.
got bounced out of the Illinois State Fair because their logo is a train with a Confederate flag on it, and it's like divisive. Well, they followed it up with, they had another booking of the Ulster County, New York Fair, and they just got bounced out of that. So what they try to do is like go to New York, a day or two later and have a party. So anyway, they are my home run. And my air ball is AOC in the squad, or AOC +3, or the Ebola squad, whatever they call them. She is saying resisting and boycotting Israel is the same as what all the Allies did with boycotting Nazi Germany.
Jeez Louise.
I mean, this woman is brain dead.
My guest
Just
host,
brain dead.
my guest host yesterday, Derek Grayson, calls them the four twits. So that's what he
The
calls
four
them.
twits of the
Is that a
apocalypse.
dirty word?
No, I call them the Spice Girls.
You changed
Unless
one
you have a
letter.
list.
You changed one letter.
Anything
You have a
else?
list.
Anything else, Bruce?
That's twins.
No, that's.
Rick?
Yes, sir.
I cede my time to the chair.
I'm going to give up my winner portion to Jane because she's got a winner.
All right.
Because I do.
He knows.
Hey, I only have
I
a
don't
loser.
even know yet. I'm thinking like crazy.
You better. My winner this week, my loser this week. I only got a loser. That's really
Lots of losers.
I know. My loser this week is the Clinton family, because the police officer that's in jail at the same place that Jeffrey Epstein is in jail didn't get him dead, didn't kill him. He let him live for some reason because he had earbuds in and he didn't know the guards were coming. But they want him dead, folks. And if you think that was an accident, if you think that was suicide attempt, you're absolutely dead wrong. They want that guy dead because he's got the goods.
He's got the goods.
So you're saying they may add him to the list that they have down through there?
Poor Seth.
Yes, got it. I was wondering if anybody touched that reel because I almost said it. Go ahead. Rick said you guys. We're waiting. What's your winner?
I just have the obvious. The winners are the good guys, and the losers are the bad guys. I mean, the winners are the Republicans and after Mueller. And Mueller and all those guys are the losers. I know I let you down, but
no,
that's
you didn't
just
let me
so
down. No.
To me, I mean, I think we have the bull by the horns now because of everything they got on the record at the hearing.
We saw the deep
got
state
it on the record.
exposed.
We saw them exposed, and now even the liberals were watching that. Even they can't say, "Wow, what about Mumford? He's a Western asset."
Just as a follow-up, the two reports we're waiting on, the IG report and the other one from
Durham.
Yeah. Are they going to come see the light of day?
They are
Absolutely.
already. They are.
The people, the
you
people
will
that
not believe what's going to happen.
Let me tell you, the IG report. All of a sudden, the reason that it's not out is because Durham's effort has created such a firestorm that the people that originally met with the
Horowitz and
with Horowitz are now coming back and saying, you know what, I might have misspoke.
Yeah, right, because they lied and they're going to get
exactly.
caught.
They damn well lied.
Yeah,
they
saying,
misspoke. And oh, by the way, I'm here trying to save my butt because I don't want to
Jim
be
Jordan
perjured.
said the record says he lied 3 times.
Yeah.
How come he could and the other guy couldn't?
Let me tell you, those guys really are the winners of the week.
They are.
Radcliffe,
they are.
Nunez,
They did.
Jordan.
I like
Lesko.
our congressman.
Yeah.
Doug Collins.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's brilliant.
All right,
Those are the
folks.
winners.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap this up because we have North Georgia Senior Living with Jesse Barton on the other
JB's
side.
in the house.
I want to tell a very quick story, because my thing this week, I understand I watched the Mueller testimony, is this racism thing. And I have to say, it's scary to me because I actually wonder when there's people getting attacked just because they're wearing a hat. There's people getting attacked because they're wearing a shirt. And it's just not right anyway, and I'm in fear of what's going on in this country. So I'll tell you a brief little story. I'll keep it clean, okay? And quick. I used to, in my past life, I used to manage very large building material companies, and I had a store, and I am going to give it to you, in Greensboro, North Carolina. So a company called me up, so you go to Greensboro, North Carolina, and manage this store for us. Sure. So I go out there, go make it real quick. I go out there, and it's got about 40 employees, all right? 40 employees. All of my drivers, all of my delivery personnel, every one of them, black. So I stay there. I'm there 3 weeks. I got like 40 black guys working in the back, and here I am. I'm the white guy, right, as you can guess, in the group. So I'm going out there and I'm talking to these guys. So over a couple weeks, I realized that I've got this one amazing delivery driver. I'm not going to give you his name, but amazing. Best delivery driver in my career to this day. So I call him in. I say, let's go in the office a minute. And I said, you're one of the best delivery drivers I've ever met in my life. I said, you're an amazing hard worker. But we got a couple guys that's not pulling it like you do. You understand? He said, I get it. And I said, why don't we have any white people working here? If we got a problem with white people here? No, I ain't got a problem with them. All I want, now I went to the top guy, I said, all I want is guys to climb up in my truck or get in our truck that's going to make it happen. I don't care. I said, so you're all right if I go out and I recruit a couple from maybe our competition, they're best drivers and they might be white, you're okay with that? Sure. So we can let some white people in here? Absolutely. So that's what we did. We put a couple white people in the group. Man, we turned that into probably 50% black, 50% white, and we turned it out of 18 stores. We took it from like number 7 to number 1 in sales, gross profit, everything those guys did, and they did it together back there in a warehouse. And every Monday morning we'd have a meeting, and we'd have a white guy didn't like a black guy, and somebody would say something, and we'd solve it right then. I did not know, and this is before Barack. I really didn't know we were going down this road of division. But that's what the corrupt media has done. That's what the Obama administration has done. I'm sorry to say, but I could tell stories like that all day long. So when somebody attacks me for racism, wrong guy. I'm going to be with Jesse Barton, North Georgia Community, North Georgia Senior. How does I say that, Rick?
Senior living.
All right, how's it? All right, do it for me, Jesse, because you're going to be here next week. Say it, it's your job.
This is a test. You put me way
Jesse
too
Barton, Community Relations Director, North Georgia Senior Living, Cameron Hall.
That's it.
We'll go with that. We're out.
You read my lips.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Do you feel like healthcare has become too impersonal?
3 times an hour, I'll get you in, I'll get you out.
At Lifetime Medical Center, you're more than a number. We get to know you, not just your medical issues. Dr. Alana Kent is board certified in family practice and offers same-day appointments. She and her staff treat conditions from minor to chronic issues. Lifetime Medical Center, convenient to Jasper and Blue Ridge.
This may sting a little.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Elijah next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Elijah next to Walmart.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and LJ, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Hey folks, we're back and we're at Sycamore Crossing in downtown beautiful morning Blue Ridge, Georgia. Absolutely right, Jesse, and I'm here with Jesse Barton, Community Relations Director with Cameron Hall, and this is North Georgia Senior Living. How are you, Jesse?
Can this morning be any more gorgeous? Like, the temperature is just right. If you're not here in North Georgia, you need to get up here this weekend because this temperature is amazing.
You know, when the show is over, there's a lot of times when the show is over right here at Sycamore, especially a morning like this, I just stay here a minute.
Yeah.
I just sit down, stay a minute. I'm in no hurry, you know what I mean?
We all need to do more of that. I've been listening to these podcasts about mindfulness, and they say take 5 minutes. Just sit outside and just be. Like, don't have thoughts running through your mind. Just listen and sense.
You know, since you brought that up, and this is North Georgia Senior Living, but we always have great conversations. And I don't want to say struggle, but I have shared with a lot of my friends in the professionally, like Dr. Whaley and people like that, I can't stop having thoughts, and that's the struggle I have. Like, if I go outside and I sit down and I say, all right, I'm taking this cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk to anybody. I'm turning everything off. Okay? I will get 30 seconds, and then I'm figuring, well, if Josh and I buy this and we put it in place, we could broadcast this, or if I can't do it, I try. You know what I'm saying?
So what I have learned, because I am the exact same way, this mind of mine, we call it in yoga, we call it monkey mind, because it's just constantly going. So my trouble is I can't just have this blank mind. You know, they say it should be nothingness, and I'm like, that's nice. So what I have found, and this is going to sound a little woo-woo, it's not so much about completely clearing the mind, it's observing the thought as it comes and being like, okay, and then letting it go. And so the way I do that is I actually visualize it like I'm sitting on a riverbank. And you know how sometimes leaves will fall and you can watch them go down the river? So observe that thought like you see that leaf fall. Say, that thought, okay, it's a thought. And then watch it go away. I promise it works.
I know I could go with that, because that is the one thing. No, I love to read. I don't want to get sidetracked. I love to read, okay? But I can't read fiction.
Okay.
I can't. If I read, it is a biography.
Okay.
Like, you know, I have the Reagan Diary. So I love to read, but I read. Okay. So I've always been, when I get up and I put my book down, it's something I've learned.
Yep.
So I just, you know, even when...
But that's okay, though, because that is something that brings you enjoyment.
Right.
It may be working the mind, but it brings you enjoyment, and that's actually the perfect segue into what I'd like to talk about today.
Okay, I'm going to give you the segue, but I got one more thing, because when we were in the third grade, I say it like this, we had our third grade reading challenge that our teacher gave us, and I have my friend still to this day that read the complete Hardy Boys book series. But we're in the third grade, and he's flying through the Hardy Boys book. So he's sitting in the next desk next to me, and he said, you got to try these. So I went and I tried. I have read several as a kid, but I tried 2 or 3. And I was like the only third grader going to the library when we picked out books, and I just don't want to go into the books I was picking out. So we'll go. All right, that's done. That leads us into... What do we want to talk about?
So we've had if you've watched the show, you remember Macy Dotson,
yes,
who's our program director at Cameron Hall, and we talked a little bit about what Lifestyle 360 encompasses. So I really want to break that down.
I love Lifestyle 360 that you guys make happen down there. Go ahead.
So this week I want to talk about the intellectual wellness. So, you know, it's based off Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I've really started studying that, and I see where it all falls into place with each other, but intellectual wellness is so important as we age, so keep reading your biographies. And I've just got some information here from our program, but someone like you who is cognitively active, they are 2.6 times less likely to develop dementia and Alzheimer's disease than a cognitively inactive person. We want to maintain this cognitive action as we age, and because our brain naturally wants to shrink. And so keeping that active and keeping that brain going, you're less likely to develop those diseases.
we exercise our brain much like everything else, and we don't think about it, do we? Because I've watched people aging that the body, the reality is, starts to diminish, and you know, some things we lose our faculties in some areas physically.
Right.
But we have to remember when we walk, we're exercising, but the brain exercises too. Am I on the right track?
It is, and
I call it that, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, and that's why they have brain games now.
Right.
I mean, it's so important because, it all boils down to that cognitive impairment. We want to delay that as much as possible. Sorry.
We have a squeaky toy.
We have a squeaky toy, a little lamb chop over there. So intellectual activities can actually increase brain function, promote clear thinking, and heighten memory recall. So what we see is we have folks that have been isolated, maybe their only brain exercise is watching TV, and they move in and suddenly they're immersed in conversation. That's helping memory recall. They are watching some of our documentaries. Last night the residents went to the Playhouse and watched a performance. And the family actually used those words. Mom is more clear than she has been in a couple of years. And we think it's because she's being challenged, you know, with her cognitive abilities.
Now this is the 360.
It is.
And there's 5 parts.
There's 5 parts.
What are the 5 parts?
Intellectual, emotional, social, physical, and spiritual.
And every one of those at Cameron Hall, every one of those parts, you have a full program laid out to highlight these areas that you need at this time of your life.
Right. So now
it's a balance. It's a balance.
We've started documentary Tuesdays because they said we don't want to watch these silly movies that are coming out. These movies these days are no good. We want to learn.
And I have to say this a lot. I'm going to have to raise my hand on that. There's so many movies. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And I think that's why they're remaking so many, because they don't have any original ideas.
Right.
So
you have Documentary Tuesday.
Documentary Tuesday. We had a Trail of Tears presentation, so somebody who
that's great.
Yeah, so they got to learn. And a lot of these people have moved in from out of state, so they don't know fully the Native American history of our area. So that was a great opportunity for them to learn. They interacted with people, they talked about it, they were continuing to talk about it. So a lot of these areas can overlap. So you may have something that's emotional and intellectual at the same time, but every day on our calendar we're hitting those 5 items at least.
Well, you know, people should, when they retire, they look at so many other things that they want to do. And, you know, for me, I'm looking forward to the day where I can sit there and about twice a year watch a documentary on how the Hoover Dam was built. I'm sorry. For me, I'm looking forward to the day I got nothing to do and I can watch twice a year on how the Panama Canal was built. I got a long list. I'm sorry.
All the locks.
Yes, I love it. I'm sorry. That's me. So it's like when you got me a documentary. You had me a documentary Tuesday.
Forget you had me at hello.
Yeah, documentary Tuesday. Really? Can we add some things on there? I love documentaries, and like I'll watch them twice, not in a row, but I'm married to somebody that says we watched that once. Do we really need to see that again or something? So there you go.
I can understand, and some you do want to watch multiple times.
I want to tell you, what's the name of the program?
Lifestyle 360.
I think Cameron Hall, folks, the Lifestyle 360 program that they have in place is just, I think it's just, you guys do a good job. And let me just say as we close, you can put a program in place, but you have to have the people to implement it.
Sure.
You guys have a great staff down there. You've worked on this program. It's great for your residents, but it doesn't land if you don't have the right people to do it. And you guys have the right people, and I want to tell people that. They have an amazing staff down there. I call her, this is my name, I call her North Georgia Senior Living, your concierge to North Georgia Senior Living.
It.
Anything about North Georgia Senior Living, you get in touch with Jessie Barton, Community Relations Director at Cameron Hall. Tell them how to get in touch with you, Jessie.
Sure. Call me at 706-515-4100 or check us out on the web at www.cameronhalloflj.com.
And she will pause the Braves game to take your call. Yeah. You got to.
You may find me in the movie theater watching the Braves game, which is intellectual and social because I'm talking about the Braves with other people and I'm learning their stats.
These Brave fans, boy. I tell you what, again, our North Georgia Senior Living Concierge, Jessie Barton, Community Relations Director at Cameron Hall in LJ. You can find their website, look them up, but it doesn't matter what question you have about North Georgia living. If you're a senior citizen and you're moving up here, call her. She'll help you any way she can. We have the squeaky toy.
Yes.
And, we got Pet of the Week. We got our squeaky toy coming right after these messages.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and LJ, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
All right, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. It is time for what? Don't love on me. Don't. Why do you bring these dogs that love all over me, get me these little pooches? It's time for our Pet of the Week, the star of the show from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. And who do we have here with us, Rena?
This is Sienna.
Sienna likes squeaky toys.
She does. She loves this lamb.
Yes.
And
how old is Sienna?
Sienna is approximately 10 months to a year. She just got spayed 2 days ago, so she'll be ready to go home soon. I don't know what kind of a dog she is, terrier mix, it's your guess, but she is a sweetheart. She is such a love. I gotta show your face to the camera. See the look how pretty, huh?
Sienna, the pretty girl. The pretty girl.
Now she's still a puppy, so there's gonna be some training involved.
My question is that her size?
But yes.
So
she's gonna fill out a little bit more, but she might get a little taller, but not much. She's about 30 pounds right now. I don't think she's gonna be more than 35, that's my guess. But she is such a sweetheart. It was the first time in my truck, and she was just great. She just laid in the back. She did get up in the front seat, and then she just sat there and looked at me, and then got in the back seat and played with the lamb. So
well, she's the perfect size. Now I'm going to say this: you guys do a great job out there at the Humane Society of Blue Ridge of what I call identifying the pets, where family, children, other dogs. But something about if this is the size and only, she looks like a companion dog, like to me.
Yes.
Are you getting that?
Yes.
Look at that. Like
she did have a meet and greet, and she's great with kids.
Great. I see
kids.
that. I see that.
They did have another dog, and she was fine until the dog went at her, and then she stands her ground. So if the other dog likes dogs, it might get along, so we'd still have to do the meet and greet.
Ooh, you do
but
it's a poochie.
You know, it's hit and miss, because if she's as big or as tiny as she is, if she's going to be attacked by a dog, she's going to stand up for herself and fight back.
So kids,
Kids definitely.
Kids,
older person.
Oh, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking. Look at this.
She
I'm
would
looking
be a lap
at,
dog. So
absolutely.
easy.
Oh, I
yes, I know.
love it. I like the love
Thank
it.
you, thank
Can I
you.
get them? Come
Oh,
over
yeah.
here. Come over here. Let me see Sienna. Who the puppy? Who the puppy? Who's the puppy?
Yes.
Who's the puppy? Get love. Get love. Get kisses. Oh, you don't get kisses. Look at that.
She gives kisses. Give her a kiss. Give kiss. There you go. There you go.
Oh, you're a smoocher. Oh, you're a poocher.
But she'd be a great lap dog. She would probably sit in the couch with you.
I love the puppy.
Like I said, she's good in the vehicle. And this was her first time in my vehicle.
Want a squeaky toy? I'm gonna let her go. I'm gonna let her go. Oh, you want to sing a song?
There will be some training with her. She walks great on a leash, but you know she's still kind of a puppy at 10 months old. She was, yeah, she does. She was found by a citizen, and they brought her by, but we were full, so she took her to animal control, and then we put her name on her. So we were able to get her, and she's been through the intake process. Like I said, she was spayed a couple days ago. She is now in general pop. She is ready to meet her family, her new companion, and just take her home and train her. Whoops, you didn't eat that one. You want that one? Okay. And she is so cute. She is just so cute. You're so cute. Get up here and show them.
Folks, Sienna right here is looking for her forever home. She is looking for her forever home. And we want you to check out, go over to the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. They have cats and they have dogs. They have plenty of pets to pick from. So if your little boys or girls would like to have a kitten, they have plenty there, and cats. Also with dogs, we got, it's getting ready, we got, next week they're coming?
I have to double check that. They are still in intake, so either next week or the week after.
So next week or week after, we're going to have a bunch of puppies here. So Humane Society of BlueRidge.com, they do an amazing job. .org, sorry, Humane Society of BlueRidge.org. They do an amazing job. They have an intake process which, when you get your pet and adopt your pet, it is guaranteed to be disease-free, ready to go home. And we like to do everything to find their forever home one time. So they do a meet and greet. Get in touch with them. Bring your other pets and your children up. And meet this beautiful, what's her name again?
Sienna.
Sienna, I thought so. Meet beautiful Sienna today. Also, you can check out all of these pets are on there. What's your website?
Humane Society of BlueRidge.org.
And where are you located?
We are at 171 Mineral Springs Road, which is just off of Aska. And follow us on Facebook. You'll see our dogs. You'll see the puppies. The puppies are posted all over Facebook. Found dogs, missing dogs, information about dogs. It's hot. Don't keep your dogs in the car. All kinds of information. And call us at 706-632-4357. And come on by. We're open Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 10 to 5. And Saturday is 10 to 2.
All right, folks, look, we'll be back Monday morning, 8 a.m. in the office. That's fyntv.com. All of our segments, the Pet of the Week, every segment we have, you can find on our YouTube channel, FYNTV Fetch Your News. You can share these pets. All the segments we have a playlist there. Pet of the Week is there. Now, the other thing is when you're searching, you know, Humane Society, you have to say of Blue Ridge. I want to be clear. I want to make sure that you're looking at the right one. Humane Society of Blue Ridge Facebook page.
All one word.
Right.
.org.
And also .org. So I'm your host, BKP. Rena, I want to say thank you to you every Friday for bringing your one of these beautiful adoptable dogs. And every week we have just an amazing, beautiful pet here for adoption. Thank you. Thank all the volunteers. I'm on one of those days. I want to make sure I don't forget anybody. Thank you to each and every one that works and volunteers at the Humane Society
And
of Blue
thank
Ridge.
you for allowing us to come and show
I
our
love
dogs.
you. It's hard to convince me to bring a dog, right? So, and then one thing dogs know. I tell you what, if dogs were to come here and they could pick up I really didn't care for dogs, they'd let me know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They let you know.
Oh yeah.
And every pooch I want to take home. Monday morning, 8 a.m., good morning from the office. We will be back. Enjoy this beautiful weekend. Come up and see us, folks. It's beautiful in North Georgia. Take us out of here, Josh.